So, well, what do you know? My first fight week preview in God knows how long. We're going to be talking about Boots Ennis versus the Lithuanian Eimantas Stanionis. I'm TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360, 15 and 0 with 9 KOs, 30 years old. Very good fighter. However, we don't see him much. So he's got a very small pocket of United States fans. And I'm talking about small pockets because of inactivity. Remember, at one point in time, he was linked to fight Virgil Ortiz about 3 times, if I'm correct, right? And the fight was rescheduled and postponed for over a year. But as you can see, oh, and by the way, he's a PBC Al Heyman fighter, longtime PBC Al Heyman fighter. And I believe he may still be with Richard Schaefer, one of the only last links between PBC and Richard Shaver. One of those. Remember, they used to work very closely together with Golden Boy before PBC was actually a thing. For those who don't know, from my understanding, Richard Schaefer was supposed to be the head of PBC, like the face, the talking, the voice. But involving the lawsuit Golden Boy had with him, Richard Schaefer and PBC, from my understanding, Richard Schaefer couldn't be involved. It's some legal mumbo jumbo. But long story short, I believe he's still a Richard Schaefer fighter. Now, as you can see here, what do you see here? Nothing of note? Or how about the fact that he fought Luis Collazo in 2021? Yes, Luis Collazo. But you see a lot of inactivity there. One fight in 2022, no fight in 2023, one fight in 2024. And as you can see, he's going on another 1 year layoff. So look at it like this. I am from Philadelphia. I don't live in Philadelphia anymore, and by the way, I can't stand the city. As I've grown up, that city, man, I just can't stand it anymore. Like from traffic court to public transportation, to just the fiends and the youth. The city needs some help. But anyway, Boots Ennis 33 and 0 with 29 KOs. I had the pleasure to be at 3 Boots Ennis fights. 1 years back in the 2300 arena. And then I was at his last 2 fights that were here in Philly against David Evernessian and Karen Chokhazian. Where, let's go back down memory lane. In fact, I think I should play the post-fight interview so that can kind of jog your memory on how this fight went. I'm sitting ringside. I'm talking about every now and then when I go to fights, I'm going to say probably 6 out of 10 times, I'm getting like really close ringside seats. And I'm there with like the media of the media, the ESPNs, the, Fox Sports, the media. And the gasp of, and the whispers of how, like, oh my gosh, he's just not that guy. Like, I don't know if he's going to beat Virgil now. There's a lot of whispering like, man, he lucky he ain't fight Crawford. There was a lot of that going on, even from people in his team. They wasn't saying anything disparaging, but they were like, oh man, he should have really knocked him out. The fans, as they're leaving, it was so quiet in there, and it was some boos too. Because it just wasn't a good performance, despite how close these cards seem. It just there was concerns. Let's go listen to that post-fight interview. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. So anyway, it's going to be in Atlantic City this weekend at the Boardwalk Hall. I chose not to go. I just didn't, I could have went. I know people are going to be like, oh man, you need to get out there. I just, not this one. May, however, New York. Yeah, I'm working on that. That's in the mix. And also, Thurman and Tim Zhu, when that happens, that's in the mix. So, we're working on something. Hold on, let me pull up this interview. Let's see. Ennis post-fight. Let's see if we can find it online. Do I have to always log into the zone? Post-fight presser. I was at the post-fight presser. Did I ask a question at that one? I don't believe I did. I'm looking for the post-fight interview after Karen Chuk. And basically, he knows he had a bad performance. Let me see, is this the one? He knows he had a bad performance. And you can tell he was disappointed in himself. And I'm going to go ahead and say that, where is it at? Is it? Here it is.
Well, Boots, congratulations. 2 fights against
I'll let it play
Hypejob,
through.
but 2 very different types of fights. What'd you think of your performance tonight?
My performance was okay. You know, I don't know, man. I think it might be time to go to 54, yo.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part
Did you
too.
feel differently?
I felt good, but I just, you know, I feel like at 54, I'm gonna be way better, and my pop gonna be how it's supposed to be. I'm getting older. I'm 27. I'll be 28 next year.
The very first fight, you had to chase him around for the better part of 12 rounds. He kind of stood and traded a little bit more. Did you expect that?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I was prepared for anything he had coming. You know, it didn't really matter to me. You know, but I'm glad, you know, I got the win, and I mean, like I said, I felt okay, you know, but it's only bigger and better.
This was one of those fights that was effectively forced on you. You had to defend your title against the mandatory. Did that make it hard at all to kind of train and get up for a fight like this?
I mean, yeah and no, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, I wanted to be better than last time, you know, and I wanted to get that knockout. I heard him a lot of times, and I was like rushing, you know, I don't know, you know, but it's okay.
There did seem at times to be a disconnect from what your father wanted in the corner and what you were delivering in the ring. It didn't seem like you were giving him what he wanted. Where was that disconnect?
I heard everything he was saying. I was just in there, you know, I was listening and not listening at the same time. You know, he wanted me to use more angles, you know, use my jab more, and stop standing in front, you know, and I did the opposite.
Your offense is still among the best in the welterweight division, if not the best. But for the second straight fight, we've seen you get hit a little bit more often than we've seen in the past. What do you need to do defensively to get better as you look ahead to these bigger fights?
Right now, it's probably the bigger names, you know. Like you just said, when you fight bottom tier guys, sometimes you don't want to get up for them, but, you know, I know if I fight a way better guy, I'm going to be crazy, you know, I'm going to be on point, you know. That's what's going to make me better, you know. Not saying he's a bad fighter or anything, but I need them top guys.
And I'm going to stop right there for a minute. And that's, you know, pretty much what I'm looking for in Stanionis. Now, for those who don't know, he's a very good technical fighter. Just because you haven't seen him doesn't mean he's not good. That seems to be a trend among American boxing fans where they think that we're the only, you know, country with good fighters. And what I'm going to say is this. He's better than Karinchuk. He probably would stop him. He's better than Evernessian. He's better than Vila. He's better than Custio Clayton. You can say that this is the best opponent of Boots Ennis' career. And it's a unification for the IBF and the WBA titles. Mario Barrios, who's considered the weakest of the champions. We don't know what he's doing yet. Brian Norman Jr. just got an emphatic KO on the undercard of Michaela Mayer, Sandy Ryan 2 last week. So the 147-pound division is up for grabs. However, he's been talking about moving up in weight for about 3 fights now, Boots Ennis. So it seems to me, you know, and remember, he was taking a lot of heat for not fighting Virgil Ortiz. So it seems to me that they really want to try to become undisputed at 147 because let's face it, 154 is deep and it's a lot of politics up there too, especially with we don't know where Fundora's going to land or how long PBC's going to be able to keep him away from the Saudis because the Saudis are on him. They want him. Bakr Murtazaliev, we don't know. Tim Tszyu, me and my colleague did a video on that just 2 videos ago if you want to see how Tim Tszyu's last fight against Joey Spencer went. But back to 147, Stanionis is good. Now, the mandatory, as you can see, number 1, Shakram Gayasov, PBC was trying to put together that fight between him and Stanionis for the longest, but let's face it, it's no rumor that PBC is having some financial issues. And let's not forget, Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia are now at 147 pounds. And it looks like Ryan Garcia, he's already said he's never going back down to 140. And it's looking like Devin Haney's also going to be there as well when he takes on Jose Ramirez, who's also finally moved up 147 pounds. So just because you don't see them ranked, well, as you can see, Ryan Garcia is ranked. There's some big fights there for Boots Ennis if he can hold on to the weight. And then Teofimo Lopez, of course, he's on his way up there as well. So the plan, from my understanding, the goal is the winner of Ennis versus Stanionis is supposed to fight Gayasov, who is on the undercard against who? Let me check real quick. By the way, please take your time out, like the video, subscribe, because I don't do content frequently. For those who don't know how YouTube works, YouTube has smacked the shit out of me right back down at the bottom of the algorithm. So my video views are going to be low until I start doing like content consistently every day for at least a month straight. And then they'll start boosting up. But right now they're like, you ain't consistent. We ain't giving you no push. And, I'm not knocking it. I had my heyday when I was, like kind of big time on YouTube. Now I just be chilling. But however, now that I'm getting older and also, full-time dad now, I be in the house. So, I got my lifestyle stabilized to where I can finally really start sitting down doing videos. For those who don't know, I've been going through custody shit for years. Well, that shit's finally resolved. So now I got all of this time. That's really why I fell off. I started, handling health issues, custody things. And frankly, I was enjoying life. I didn't need YouTube nor did I ever want to be famous. But he's going to be fighting a Franco. Have I seen this guy? Maximiliano. Cool name. Franco Maximiliano Ocampo from Argentines. You never know what them Argentines, man. They be hit or miss. Like they'll come over here on some like straight bully you. Like guys like Brian Castaño, Marcos Maidana. You never know with those guys. So let's see. It might be a fun fight. But overall, nothing on the card that really sticks out. There's some fun fights on there. Okay. Damn, I haven't seen Thomas Matisse in a long time. He's going to be fighting Ray Ford. Christian Cardo, he's been a local. He just recently returned, I believe, within the last year. I watched him and went to cover a fight of his probably back in 2016. So he's a local boxer, well known in boxing circles in the Philadelphia, Jersey, Delaware, tri-state area-ish. Yeah, who have I seen Matisse fight before? I haven't. Isaac Cruz, and I've covered him. I'm not really sold on Ray Ford. How old is Ray Ford now? 26. Got some time, but I'm just like, Still, I'm still trying to figure him out. He did get his world championship though. But yeah, it should be a fun card. It's going to be on the Zone this weekend, April the 12th. From Atlantic City. The main event is going to be really good. The WB Box Rec doesn't recognize the WBA anymore on their website. I forgot. I believe it has something to do with the Saudis and Fight Facts or whatever. Another organization. But it's going to be for 2 belts, the IBF and the WBA. Super World title. And for those who don't know, the WBA is back on the bullshit again, where they have 3 belts up at a heavyweight. For example, you have Usyk, who's the champion. You have Kubrat Pulev, who's the regular Reggie, and then you're going to have Fabio Worley taking on Gerald Big Baby Miller of all people for the WBA interim title. So they're back on their multiple champions, as you can see here with Bivol and David Benavidez. Look with Canelo, Caleb Plant. Look, they get 154. Who else? They got to get it together. Look. But anyway, take your time out, like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. By the way, here is my Twitter right here, TstreeT Controversy, where I'm actually pretty active again these days. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. See you guys on Saturday night for my post-fight analysis. And I'm thinking about starting to gamble. I've never gambled before in my life, believe it or not. I don't even know how to play I Declare War no more. I know how to play Pity Pat, that's it, and some Uno. But I'm thinking about, putting aside $100 or something a month and $25 here, I'm considering it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.